Alrighty, get started. Share this screen here and expand this screen. Get started. All right, guys. So my name is Connor Wetherington. I'm going to be doing my final project of Beasts of No Nation. A film came out in 2015. 2015, a drama film on the experience of young boy Agu. And he is a child soldier fighting in the civil war of an unnamed African country. So we'll dive right into it. So pretty much the film starts out by showing in a typical African village, and the kids are out playing and doing kid things, and pretty much there it's a normal village, and with war all around them, and there's EMOD troops protecting their village and the refugees from the surrounding war surrounding their village, and so they're barricaded all around the village. And Agu is the leader of the group of kids, and he tells us that his father is a teacher and his mother works hard for the family, and he has a bigger brother and a baby sister and a grandfather that's in bad health. So he appears to be about 10 years old, but we're not given his age in the film. So yeah, but we see a normal village life and their village life is pretty much about a lot of family and religion and community values. But the threat of war is all around them, as I've been saying. So pretty much the war comes into their city, and everybody's scrambling, going crazy, and pretty much the village elder sends the women and the children away. So that'll be Agu and his baby sister and the mother away, as the men stay back and fight his brother and dad. So everybody scrambles, and as all the women and little kids are leaving, they get the mother and the little kid in the car, and Agu tries to get in the car, but something bad happens. There's not enough room for Agu and only enough room for those two, the mother and the baby. So Agu has to stay back, and pretty much he has to stay back with his father and his brother. And pretty much the struggle and Agu's journey pretty much begins there. I mean, so pretty much they come into, as I said, the war comes into their city, and pretty much they come into the buffer zone, and they want the villagers to give up their land and move away. And the village elder, not the village elder, but yeah, so they want the villagers to leave and stuff like that. And pretty much they come in, and they declare them as spies. They declare the men as spies, and the Agu sees his dad being shot, and they're soon going to shoot Agu and the brother, and eventually the Agu and the brother get away, but the brother ends up getting shot in the meantime. And his dad pretty much told him to run to the jungle, and Agu runs, and he keeps running to the jungle, into the forest, and pretty much he gets captured by these other kids in the jungle, these teenage boys who take them to their commandant. Pretty much the commandant takes him and tells him that he will train him to kill the soldiers that killed his family and took everything from him and his village. And Agu then is initiated and becomes a member of the NDF. The light shut off. So sorry. So the light shut off. So yeah, and so pretty much his journey becoming a man starts now. He goes through basic training, and they train him how to be a soldier, and his life just turns dramatic, and very fast. And so Agu's first mission is to take part in an ambush convoy where they are forced to kill and capture man by splitting his head, and Agu is hesitant, and the director uses a flashback of Agu's family, and pretty much says that, like, these are the guys that killed your family, and that gives him anger to strike and hit the first blow. And pretty much he's also joined by another child soldier called Strika, and they just keep lashing out with the tomahawk or the machete. Sorry about that. And So pretty much that is like the turning point of him becoming an innocent little boy to a man, but also a killer. So that was like the pretty pretty bloody scene, but that was like a pretty big turning point for him in the film. Pretty much after that, they eventually, go into cities and start killing innocent people and killing innocent people and he end up getting Agu ends up getting raped and pretty much I mean things are getting pretty bad, like getting into drugs and stuff like that. And pretty much Agu is pretty much by then, after attacking villages and innocent people and doing all that stuff, is pretty much no better than the NRC soldiers that raided and looted the village and killing his father and his family and his brother and stuff like that. So pretty much, yeah. After that, pretty much he will get into the climax of the movie. So the commandant and the soldiers head back into the jungle and come under attack, where actually Striker is shot, and that's a pretty big scene in the film as well. And Agu carries him and puts him on his back, and eventually Agu's trying to stay there with him, but he ends up dying. And Agu thinks he hears his mother singing, and things are just pretty much getting hopeless, and things are just getting sad and hopeless very fast. And so obviously, like I said, we're into the climax now, and pretty much the commandant and the soldiers are working on an old gold mine, but there's no gold, and they're out of bullets, food, and money, and pretty much commandant tells Agu that everyone will betray him eventually, but eventually, like they all pretty much like they all start getting together, and they end up wanting to leave, and pretty much they what's the word, they decide to leave him. And I'm trying to think of the word, it's not coming to my head, but they eventually leave him, and they surrender to the United Nations, the UN peacekeepers. And the UN troops seem surprised at the age of the young NDF soldiers, and they're pretty surprised. And pretty much after that, he wakes up, and he is in a clean bed in a facility that seems like maybe it's an orphanage. But he and the others are there for a long time, and they're getting food, education, and stuff like that. And one of the soldiers actually tries to get Agu to leave with him, and try to get into the bush and fight. But Agu stays there, where he's getting food, like I said, food, shelter, and stuff like that. And he says that, like, I'm thinking about, like, Agu replies, he's like, he's thinking about my future, and I want to be happy in this life. And he obviously saw terrible things and stuff. So pretty much, like, at the end of the film, Agu sees the other kids playing in the ocean there at the orphanage, and where he wakes up in that clean facility, and he sees the kids out there playing in the ocean. He sits there for a while and then decides to join them. And after all the horrors and the killing, Agu said that he would never return to the things children do, like how everything was before all this happened in the village. But I mean, I guess there is still a young boy inside of him. So pretty much that's pretty much like the sum of the story. Like, I mean, it was crazy. So this is actually the Beast of No Nations official trailer right here. So and then here in the last part, I'm gonna go over the personal response. So pretty much like I've been saying, like, this was all crazy and sad for me to sit here and watch it. But I can never ever even remotely imagine these things happening to me, being torn away from my family and my normal life, and my whole family getting killed. I have a sister, and it's my sister, mom, and dad getting killed, and it's just me. Like that, like, it will tear me apart, and it would be a total nightmare, as I'm sure it is for these children in the film, and who have no other choice. And this film made me sad to see these young kids be forced to fight and kill at their age, and it made me mad to see them transform from innocent children into killers. And and maybe it really did make me see made me made me happy at the end, um um at the end of the film, where he joins the other kids playing in the water, and there's just a lot of happy emotions going on, where he's getting food, shelter. After all that happening, it just it made me happy inside that those good things happen at the end. So that's my personal response. And yeah, so that's it. I really suggest y'all to watch this film. It's really good, and I really enjoy y'all to watch it. Thank y'all. That'll be it.